Jackie Beatrice Blakely, graduate student, Master of Science in Marketing. This session is called Creativity Unleashed, the film XR, which is extended reality. Yeah, it is. I have it in my notes. And AI Artist Revolution. The panelists were Tani Gem from Bright Eye Studios, Pratik Sukatu Shah from Tiki Labs, and Adriana Vecchioli from Velvet Unicorn. I think this was a really cool talk. It was definitely niche and really for filmmakers, which is like totally great. I've never edited anything to the point where I think I would need the stuff that they were talking about. But nonetheless, I think it's super interesting to know that they exist, because I can see that crossing over into marketing campaigns really seamlessly, because there's content to be produced, there's visuals, and depending on the scale that we end up working on or in industries that we work in, the scale will be different and the demands might be different, and we might need to work on things like this. So I thought it was just super cool. They were basically, I don't want to get too technical because it's like they were going through different platforms and different tools that you can use to essentially like train AI, different AI platforms on your own animation art, and then have it start recreating the animations. And again, they're not perfect. I think that was one of the things that they stressed pretty heavily, that if you're making something for the big screen, this technology is not quite ready for that yet. But if you're doing anything for like a computer or social or whatever, which is what marketers do, right? It's pretty good. This technology is pretty good. So, and it's only going to get better, which is mind-blowing at how far it's come already. I thought it was pretty cool. They talked about using Snapchat filters as like, instead of, they did say Snapchat filters, by the way. I didn't just like say Snapchat filters to dumb it down. She legitimately said Snapchat filters, because apparently in the right situation where I wrote down the process of putting it on your computer, you can, the quality can be pretty excellent. So you can like enhance your videos or do kind of augmented reality without having to pay for a makeup artist or a special effects person, which for people whom are not working on a large budget film, which is a lot of creatives, that's really important. They went through so many things, like, can AR be used instead of mocap? Yes. If you're wondering what the answer is, yes, it can. It's not flawless, but it's a lot more cost effective. And then of course, obviously, if you're doing that, you can redirect your time, your money, and your energy into more like finessing more of the ideas, the creative, all of that side. My personal favorite part of the talk was kind of the end of it. And I'm not saying that because I wanted it to be done quicker. I just thought that the topics that they were talking about at the end, the AI specifically, AI as a collaborator, AI as an interactive agent, and then the ethics of using AI, really like when it comes to creative, those were the most fascinating parts to me. Again, I think maybe it's because I don't think I'm going to be editing a full feature film on AI. Maybe, who knows? We never know. Catch me at the Oscars. But I will be using AI, and I already do, and we get pushed to do this at DU, right? We get pushed to use AI as a collaborator. And so that was a really interesting conversation to me. And what kind of came out of it is there's this fear, right, that we're going to get replaced. There's this anxiety that all jobs are going to be gone because of AI. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's not impossible that some jobs will disappear. We need to prepare for that, which the emerging tech session definitely touched upon. But for people who are, like I just mentioned, small creators, people who are artists and don't have budgets to, hire help and producers and makeup artists and editors and all of these things to pitch their ideas or to do the thing that they love. AI is that collaborator. It's that tool that helps them. It streamlines the process. And I think depending on how we use it and depending on how we frame it, it can actually open a lot of doors for people if they're good at using it. And then I did think also that, and sorry, just to go back to that last point, the same goes for marketing, right? Doesn't mean that every job needs to be replaced, especially on a really large scale, but the majority of companies and of positions and of places to work, they're not huge companies. And so a lot of tasks fall on one person. And when that's in marketing, you're spread really thin. And so being able to lean on these tools, especially in an environment where you don't have the resources to have other people help, this is so helpful. AI is so helpful. Okay, now to the second point. AI as an interactive agent. There's not that much to say about this, but I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. The idea of, hopefully you've seen Bandersnatch, the Black Mirror episode where you can kind of like pick your own adventure of the narrative. Using AI to tailor content and narratives and, but mainly content and how it's absorbed by different audiences. Like, older people like longer clips, or longer shots. Younger people like fast, very quick shots. Using AI and like, he was talking about like video game intelligence or something. I'm not a gamer, so I don't know. To like track eye movement, to give the viewer the best experience for them in that real-time moment, which again, I'm like, wow, we are living in a sci-fi movie. How crazy would that be? Granted, I'm like, there's got to be something weird there, because you'd have to legitimately be watching it alone for the technology to just track your eyes and then be showing you whatever. Like, what if somebody was watching it with you and they'd be like, okay, well, this is not made for me. But that's really cool. Then the ethics part of it, I thought this was such an interesting part, because I think the ethics of AI, that's obviously a big conversation that people are talking about now. And when it comes to art and creativity, specifically this panel was very, very vocal about they would never put anything out if they didn't know exactly where the data set that was being used by the AI model or the large language model was, but that's probably not the right word, where they were getting that data from, which I think is totally accurate, but kind of seeing where these things are going to move forward, and how they were mentioning that some more ethical options are like depicting animals and stunts and like using them in really particular situations. So I thought it was incredible. I kind of weaved in a lot of the marketing stuff in there. It was a really, really cool session. Loved it.